Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to our session. Ask me anything, any questions at all. I'm thrilled you're here. And as you know, enrollment is open for VA School until tonight at midnight. So very exciting time. See you guys coming in. So come on into the chat. Come on into the chat, okay? Good. So like I said, today's a big day. We're winding down enrollment. I want to hear from all of you who are here. We are broadcasting on our Facebook business page. We are broadcasting in our main community, the VA Connection. We are also broadcasting on YouTube and LinkedIn as well. So come. Good. So, I want to talk about a few things today. And one of them is it's a concept that I've learned about recently, and it's called the drift, right? It's called the drift. Have any of you heard of this? I first read about it in a book by Napoleon Hill. And so the drift is when your life takes over, right? The drift is when life takes over and you go with the flow, right? And you've heard people, life got in the way. How many of you heard this? Or how many of you have said this, right? Life got in the way. And when you hear yourself saying this, I want you to know that you're drifting. All right. I want you to know that you're drifting. And when we drift, we accept the circumstances as fact, right? And we talked about that, right? We talked about circumstances, and we talked about, knowing they impact us, right? The stories that we tell ourselves. And I wonder if any ahas came from that, if any ahas have come from this. So let me know in the chat, okay? Now, when you've decided to stop drifting, it's when you know what you want, right? And you have a plan, you're in charge, no matter what the circumstances are, right? No matter what the circumstances are. And I really want you to get that today. A decision to stop drifting and decide to get what you want. And that might not be VA school for some of you. It might not be becoming a virtual assistant. I totally get that. But what I want you to do is to put the question in front of yourself and make a decision. There's so much power in that, so much personal power. And one of the things that I want to talk about, I've talked about this a lot, not in this last training, but the decision, all right? The anatomy of a decision. And what I mean by that is sometimes when we have decisions to make, we lump too many decisions into one and we get overwhelmed by it, right? We get overwhelmed by it. And I want to give you a tool so that you can solve for that, right? So you can solve for that. So what I do is I break down my decisions into sort of sub decisions. And it's sort of like, I guess you could call it a decision-making tree, right? If this, then that. And so let's give you this example. All right. The example is what you're saying in your head, and we're going to talk more about this, is I want to go to VA school, but I can't afford it. Right. I want to go to VA school, but I can't afford it. So what I want you to do is to break that down into smaller decisions. Okay. So the first decision is, if you take money out of it, if you out of it, do you want to go? Like, that's so much simpler, right? That's so much simpler. Do you want to go? And I do this all the time, like when my husband and I decided to move here, the conversation became jumbled very quickly because there's a lot of emotions, a lot of money. We needed to decide together, right? And so the first question we broke out was, do we want to move? Yes or no? Then the question became, where do we want to move to? All right. Well, that was a big question, and that required some exploration, right? In the car, on the maps, things like that. And then from there, we just kept narrowing it down further and further and further. And so the first decision was, do we want to move? And once we made that decision, we didn't go back to, should we move? Should we not? It was, we're moving. Where are we moving to? Okay. Do you see the power in that? And it all talk about overthinking. It cuts down on the overthinking. So the first question I want you to ask yourself in the situation of, do I go to VA school or not, is, do I want to? Do I want to go to VA school? And then once you decide that, then there's probably another question. Another question, will it work with my job? Will it work with my finances? Will it work with, fill in the blank? And now you have a question to ask. And that's really good, because today I'm here to answer. Hopefully I can answer some of those for you. So if you have a question along the way, I'd love for you to put it in the chat so I can address it. Okay, now is the time for that. Now, when you break down, so let's dive into this. Should I go to, do I want to go to VA school a little bit deeper? And then once you know yes or no, if it's no, you're done. If it's yes and the issue is paying for it, then the question becomes, how will I pay? And your mind is solving a different problem, right? It's solving a different problem. It's breaking it down. And I want to make sure that you all know about the new payment plan that we rolled out yesterday. $149, 12 payments, easy peasy, right? A way to get in right away. And so I want to make sure that you know that today's about getting your questions answered. Okay, good. Now, who are here have signed up for VA school already. I would love to know who's here, who's signed up, and I'd love to say a special hello. So welcome to you, and I'm glad you're here. Now, we are broadcasting live from my home office in rural Virginia. My husband and I moved here last April, and it's almost been a year, right? In a couple of weeks, it will have been a year. So that's pretty cool. So thank you guys for coming. Thanks for being here. Now, I know some of you are chapter. You're not sure what the next step might be, and you're wondering if it's being a virtual assistant. And this is me and my daughter. This was us back in 2010, and my life was a total mess. I had a failed business. I was going through a divorce, and I had a ridiculous amount of debt, right? A ridiculous amount of debt. And I was sliding into my 50th birthday, and I was worried about my future. I was worried because I was in such a bad spot. And I was also worried about how was I going to take care of my daughter? How was I going to take care of my daughter? And so, unsure of what to do, I tried to get a job, right? I tried to get a job. I put a bajillion hours into revamping my LinkedIn profile. I reached out to employment agencies, got in touch with former colleagues. And for the first time in my career, there were no job offers in sight. And I had unpaid taxes, all the things. But the thing that was interesting was that at 50, for the very first time, I felt invisible. Have any of you felt that? I've heard people say that before, I feel invisible. And I absolutely knew that feeling then. The great thing about it is I no longer feel invisible. And so that doesn't have to be something that starts and just continues. You can change that. You can. Not knowing what to do, I went back to my roots and I became a temp, right? I became a temp. My background was I was a secretary in the 80s and the 90s. I found, and I was able to find temp assignments pretty easily. And I loved the work. And I love being in the workplace again, but there were two things that were not working. One was, so now money's coming in, but it's not enough because I'm sharing the amount, a part of the pay with the temp agency. You the work, and part of what the client pays goes to them. The other thing is I have no time flexibility. So once I'm at the job, or at the temp job, I'm there for the whole day. So it's not like I can just work Mondays or mornings or just work afternoons. You might as well be at the job, and you never know when the next job's going to come. So there's no planning, which, as someone that is like a borderline, that didn't really work for me. So I decided that I might be able to do this on my own. And I thought, okay, what if I could go directly to the entrepreneurs? Keeping in mind, I knew zero entrepreneurs. I had no idea who had their own businesses. I had a job forever, right? So one morning I'm at the school bus stop, and I nervously shared the idea of this with one of the dads there. It was so happy when I told him, and I'm thinking like, what is going on? He had started a business a couple months before. I had no idea, and he needed help, and he needed the kind of help that I could provide. I paid his bills. I downloaded software onto the computers for his employees. I ran errands, very simple stuff. And I loved it. Now, I didn't consider myself a virtual assistant yet. I didn't even know what that was. Because remember, 2010, right? This is 14, almost 15 years ago. Actually, it is 15 years ago. And and so, I did this work, and it was great. And I thought, all right, I'm making money. I was doing some work from home, some work from his office, but I could walk to his office, no big deal. Okay, good. So then I'm a little braver. I go to a wedding, and I'm in the buffet line, and I'm talking to somebody and his wife, this man, and he says, what do you do? And I told him about, I really want to expand. This is what I'd like to do. And he gave me his business card. He thought it was a great idea. We talked for a few minutes, and I didn't have a business card. I didn't have, a business name, nothing. So I thought, well, I'm going to connect with him on LinkedIn. I had just spent a ton of time trying to make my LinkedIn look really good to get a job. And so I thought, all right, I'm going to do that. And it was very scary for me because I'm very introverted, and I had this idea that I'm not exactly sure where I got that, but that was the fear that was deep inside me, and so I was afraid to put anything out there, because I thought it would mean that people thought I wanted something. So anyway, I connected with him on LinkedIn, and then a few weeks later, he contacted me, and he needed help on a project, and I didn't know how to do the project, and so I told him, I said, I would love to help you. And he said, would you mind figuring it out? I'll pay you. And I thought, okay, yes, 100%, because he didn't want to figure it out. He didn't want to have to figure it out. And so he wanted someone like me to do that. And so that was amazing. That was amazing because I was getting paid to learn new things for other people and to put systems in place like this webinar for them. And so I thought, okay, game on. I got to figure out how to get clients, right? I need definitely not enough. And I spent months and months and months working through the best way to do this. I tried all the things that didn't work, right? You probably tried them too. Cold calling, putting my business card in coffee shops, talking to strangers, none of that worked. None of that worked. And I didn't know how much to charge. I was completely uncomfortable talking about money. I was worried about how to set my business up, and I didn't know how to manage my income. But I was determined. Was in tough financial shape. I hired a coach, and I worked with him for over a year to understand marketing, how to spread the word about my business, how much to charge, and how to get paid. And I did that and put myself even further out there because I knew the alternative was staying where I was. And that was no alternative, just getting more and more in debt and not having a way to make money, or enough money, which is almost worse because you're putting in the time and you're still not, which is really awful. So I hired the coach and I got to work, and there were so many processes to figure out, so many details to work through. And, I had a ton of setbacks, but I kept at it. I kept trying different pricing models, working on different ways to organize my clients' work and understand how to expand my skills to make my services more and more valuable. And during this time, I 100% learned the value, importance of asking for help, and it paid off. My first year, I made $70,000, and the next year, I made $100,000 as a virtual assistant, working for myself, just me. A lot of people think, oh, she must have had all these people working for her. I did not. And I did that for 10 years in a row. So I made more than $1 million working as a virtual assistant in my home, right? In my home. And in the third year of my business, I met my now husband, Greg, and he lived 164 miles away, and he worked in New York City. So he had no flexibility at all. He got on the train every morning, he worked, he got on the train at night, and he came home, and there was no flexibility at all. So it became even more important for me to have my business be thriving so I could work from anywhere and I could travel to his house all those years ago. So, and by the way, this is our wedding day. This is you can see right there. And then my stepsons, David, Charlie, Stephen, and Andy. And if you join the VA school, I'll tell you the story about those shoes. It's kind of funny. And so to be successful, I got really busy and really serious, and I focused on creating systems, that would allow me to get clients no matter where I was. And because of the systems I put in place, and because of the marketing machine I built with the help of my coach, I started to see a ripple effect. Clients began referring me to their friends and colleagues, and before I knew it, I had a steady stream of work. And my business was operating, this is cliche, but like a well-oiled machine. It was just like cha-ching, cha-ching. And I continued to create templates for myself. I continued to learn indispensable skills and learn more and more and more about running my business. And for the next 10 years, I billed over 20,000 to my clients. And I have to say, virtual assistants really changed everything for me because, and for my family, I feel like it saved my life, which again, it sounds really dramatic, but it gave me purpose. It gave me an outlet to help people, to do work I love, and to make consistent money working from home, right? To make a consistent income working from home. And then in 2019, I decided to help other women change the direction of their lives by leading them to become virtual assistants. Because by then I had a roadmap, I had strategies, I had processes, all the things that I used to create my own successful business. So I took another leap and I started the VA Connection. We have had 23 cohorts, groups of students go through VA school since 2021. Our Facebook community is home to over 57,000 virtual assistants. And I love doing this. I absolutely love this work. And I'm thrilled that I get to be. I love coaching and mentoring people who want what I have. It's very rewarding, right? Yes. So. Let's jump. Oh, one more slide I want to show you. I love this. So this is me and Greg on January 29th, 2024. So over a year ago. This is the day we closed on a farm in Virginia, and it had been a dream for to own our own home. And it really was in a large part because of me being a virtual assistant, making the money to contribute and having the ability to move anywhere I wanted to with him and to build our relationship. I don't know that we would be together if I didn't have the flexibility I did. And I am grateful for it and still enjoy it every single day. And the virtual assistant lifestyle is waiting for you. And I can't wait to tell you more. So we're going to, some of the materials we're going to talk about today are going to be the same, but it's mostly going to be different from anything you've heard before. Okay. So I just want to set the playing field for those of you. And I wonder, is anyone here for the first time? Because sometimes people jump in right at the end. So this is something that we talked about for the last 2 weeks, and it's the importance of taking a direct route to your dreams, right? So we talked about, you are here, or like a map at the mall, and you could be here, right? You could be here over on the right. And these are all the false starts, right? This is the Etsy store. This is the selling, essential oils, right? This is when you decided to go back to school. This is when you decided to fill in the blank. And we have all these dead ends out there, all these loose dead ends. And for me, I had that too. I tried MLM. I tried, I had an online store for a while. I tried temping. I tried all the different things. But when I locked into being a virtual assistant, that's when everything made sense to me. And that was the fastest route for me to make consistent income. And the thing is that when I started it, the people around me did not agree with my decision. They shouldn't start my business. I'd never be successful. I didn't have what it took. I should just get a job. What's the problem? So if some of you are getting that feedback as well, I just want you to know that you can get through it. You can get through it. And I did. I absolutely did. So I want to make sure you guys know about these two bonuses that we have. One of them I told you about day before yesterday. The other one is brand new to about it, and I can't wait to tell you. So this is the first one. So I know that some of you are worried that you don't have the skills you need, right? We've talked a lot about, that the primary skill you need is to be able to run a business. But I know some of you are also worried about being out of the workplace for a while. You don't know how to do fill in the blank, and tech, first of all, I want to tell you, tech has gotten a lot easier, significantly easier. So you are in for a treat. If you used to struggle 10 years ago, pretty much gone because everything has gotten so much easier and streamlined. But for those of you that want to learn skills, what I've put together is something called the indispensable VA skills, services you can offer clients right now. And this is brand new. And what I've done is pull together a list of what 80% of clients that have virtual assistants want them to do. Building this course out. So I'll show you the first module right here. So this is the first module. And it's all about email inbox management. A lot of clients want you to manage their inbox. And there's a lot to that particular skill. And so I want to make sure you're completely prepared for that. So I've made 8 videos. So the first one is why clients hire virtual assistants, like why manage your own inbox, right? And then there's worries that come as well that virtual assistants have. I've identified 7, so we nail those down for you. There's a video, understanding your clients' expectations, like what do they want you to do, getting really clear. Day-to-day inbox management, what's your day going to look like? Skill building, billability, and delivering excellent service. I want to make sure that you are able to hours by organizing their inbox and maintaining it. And there's definitely ways to do that. And that's what's in this video. Skill building, creating labels and filters. Another way to think about that is folders. Skill building and another skill building video, create 5 email inbox sections. That you can do in Gmail. And when you see this for the first time, you are going to want to do it for yourself. I have this in inboxes, and it's really cool. And then the final video is what happens when the client comes to you and says, I have 450 million emails in my inbox. Can you clean it out? Yes, you can. And it's not as difficult as you think, but it's right in this video. And I've done it the long, hard way many times in my career, but this is a shortcut to get it done and to have a happy client and a cleaned out inbox. Module of this course, we're going to be rolling it out over the next few months. The next module that we're going to create is all about calendar management. That is a skill that a lot of people want help with, scheduling their meetings. And we're going to have all the pieces to that, including spreadsheets and backup, whatever you need to get it done. Okay, good. All right, so the next bonus, you saw the post about this, and I think an email is going out any minute. Did any of you hear about this yet? Client attraction challenge, the client attraction challenge. So here's the thing. I know that a lot of you are worried about getting clients, right? You're worried about where you're going to find them, what are you going to say to them, all the things. And so I was thinking of fix that. Let's just fix that. Now, absolutely, 100%, the answer to that question is in VA school, right? 10 times over. However, I decided to pull out the key elements to the client attraction, which we talked about in the VA Business Launchpad. We talked about the client attraction elements. We talked about grabbing low-hanging fruit. We talked about creating a referral network. And we talked about setting up your client start coming to you instead of you looking for them. So what we're going to do is we are going to, starting March 24th, we are going to have a challenge inside the VA School Facebook group where you are going to learn exactly what you need to get clients now. So there's lots in VA school about, setting up your business and your business bank account and all the things. And absolutely those things are important. But if you're someone who wants way, this is for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited about it. We're going to have a workbook. There's going to be homework, and it is actionable steps that you can take. Now, the thing is, it's really interesting because I had a thought right before I started the session. And so I wrote it down. What I wrote down was, it's not about knowing, it's about doing. Because I know a lot of you out, oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. But there's something stopping you from the doing. And that's something that signing up for VA school can provide for you, right? It provides that support, the accountability, and the answer to the question, what do I do now? What's next? What do I do? And it's a very valuable, because I know a lot of you have been, following people and listening and watching, and you're like, oh, okay, but you're just not doing it. And so if that's you, this can actually absolutely help. And a good first step is this bonus, the Client Attraction Challenge. It's going to be fun. We're probably going to have points. Points are good, right? Probably some prizes. We'll see, but I'm excited. Good. All right. So let's talk about, so here's what we're going to do. Here's the rest of our agenda. I'm going to talk about what's in VA school. I think I have 4 slides about this. Questions. And for any of you who are here who have a question, please put it in the chat so that I can answer it for you. So this is your roadmap. This is your virtual assistant roadmap to success. The moment you sign up for VA school, you have access to our student portal. Inside the student portal, there are 10 modules with more than 70 pre-recorded videos. It has action steps to take, and outcomes to produce to get your business set up. Module 1 is orientation, where we make sure you have everything you need, including this roadmap. You'll have a school tour, and we have an orientation session so you can find your way around. Module 2 is all about laying the groundwork, how to avoid the #1 mindset block that trips up new virtual assistants, how to set goals, up your workspace to be productive, and a jump start to make your business official. All right. Now, this is not a job, being a VA. This is much different from a job, and you're going to, you want to make sure to set it up to be profitable. And I'm going to teach you how to run a business. And, some people say running a business is stressful. Yeah, if you don't know how, right? If you don't know how. Now, for some of you, you've been trying to run your business around. I wonder how many of you have that experience, right? You're trying to run your business and it feels like the business is in charge. And you're not alone. You're not alone. We just need to dig into how you're doing it so we can figure it out and get you back on your path. Okay. In module 3, we go a whole lot deeper in choosing your services, how to confidently talk about your services. And I teach you how to expand your skill set in a way makes it much easier than what a lot of people do. We talk a lot about that, going deep into one area, different from a niche, but you'll be surprised how many tools have certain similar functionality that once you master one, you can master the rest. And so we or certainly navigate the rest. So we talk about that as well. Module 4, we get into getting great clients, and we go much than we've talked about so far. So that's really all about client attraction. Module 5 is nailing down your pricing. I give you a super cool calculator. We have multiple calculators in the pricing section. We have a calculator to calculate how much money you should charge per hour. We have a calculator that tracks your revenue for the year and does financial projections for you based on what you've done so far. We have a calculator to help you with home office deductions. So when you're a business owner, you get to deduct part of your household expenses as a part of your business. So whatever percentage of your house you're using, if the mortgage, the electricity, all the different things, you can deduct some of those things and reduce your tax liability, which is cool. So there's a spreadsheet about that. And I don't know if you guys know this, but you can also your tuition for VA school, right? You can deduct your tuition for VA school. It is a tax deduction, at least in the US, and I'm pretty sure, everywhere. You'll have to check, but that's my understanding. So that's what module 5 is all about. And I teach you how to talk about money and your pricing in a really simple way. And we'll talk more about it when we talk about the bonuses in a second. But I teach you how to get paid up front, right? Every Now, module 6 is taking your marketing to the next level. I teach you how to set up your LinkedIn profile to attract the right clients, how to get raving testimonials, and you're going to learn all about email newsletters and how to create a marketing plan that's going to keep a steady flow of clients coming to your business. Module 7, legal and financial management. We have a recording all about business insurance from our experts. We also have his contact information. You can reach out to him at any time. My husband comes 4 times a year. He's a certified public accountant, and he talks about everything you need to know in terms of setting your business up with taxpayer IDs and does an LLC make sense? All the things that you'll need to know, and answers all the questions. Module 8 is all about websites, what you need, what you don't. We talk what's best for you. When your website is ready, I'll personally critique it for you. Module 9 is tool time. I dive into my favorite tools and my tips to make the most of your time and your productivity. And I teach you my best practices for time tracking. I also teach you my Find It in 5 Seconds file management system. And I recommend tools and software to take your business to the next level. And then module 10 is all about managing the day-to-day, how to onboard a new client, workflow tips and tricks, client pitfalls to avoid, and the best way to fire a client if it's not working out, right? Lots of information to run a business. And again, running a business when you don't know what you're doing is stressful, and working with clients, it can be stressful. But choosing your pricing, knowing what you're doing, putting the foundations in place, having the VA success will take the stress out of your business. Okay, good. All right. So all of this comes with VA school too. So these are bonuses that you have access to right when you sign up for VA school. The debit card system is the first thing. The debit card system is how I teach you to set up your pricing and packaging. So it's all about ingredient number templates, step-by-step instructions so that you can accept payments from clients and stop worrying about getting paid. It's all in there. The next bonus is called the Done For You email newsletter system. This is a key component in your client attraction system, and I give you everything that you need right here. Staying in touch with the people you know is critical when you're growing your business, and the email newsletter, I think, is a secret weapon. It's also so don't have to leave our house. We don't have to talk to anyone, yet we can really make a big impact with it. The third bonus is the template library. The template library consists of 17 templates that I've been using to run my business for the last 14 years. So scripts, calculators, spreadsheets, checklists, all the things are all right here. There's a Facebook group for the 9 months of the program. So you can come together, get to know the camaraderie and the support. The Rocket Girl Show is a collection of I think it's about 120 or 30 videos. They're between 5 and 15 minutes long, and they're all about what you need to know to run a successful business. And that collection of videos is available to you as well as part of VA School. And then the last thing I want to talk about are unlimited VA School updates. So VA School is not a is my life's work, and I'm not done working. So there are ways that we can add to it and improve it. And I love doing that. And both of these bonuses, the indispensable virtual assistant skills and the client attraction challenge, those are both examples of things that are available to our past students. Even though their tuition has been paid and they've graduated, they'll have access to skills for sure, which is exciting. All right. So now let's talk about study hall. So there's two parts to there's two parts to VA school. So there's the pre-recorded videos, and then there's the classroom. Right. The classroom, we call it study hall. So we meet here 3 times a week, and we come together on Zoom, and I bring a topic to talk about. Mindset. Sometimes it's about something tactical about your business, about getting new clients, working with them, maybe a new tool, and we talk about that, and then we open it up for Q&A. And so you have 3 opportunities every week. You can come to all of them, or you can choose one, or you can listen to the replay. You have the replays of all of them for well past for my lifetime access. You have all of that. Way because like today, for example, one of our students, she has her first discovery call this week. Tomorrow. A discovery call is when you talk to a prospective client to see if you're a good fit to work together. And we were able to talk through the talking points, how to handle the call, what to talk about. And sure, all of that's in VA school, but it's so much more valuable to be able to ask a person, especially someone with as much experience as I have, and get the answer, right? Valuable. We have something else called office hours, and office hours is another opportunity to get your questions answered. That happens on Monday afternoon, and you can pop in for 1 minute and have your question answered, or you can hang around. And it was funny. Did you see yesterday we had a panel of virtual assistants? If you missed that, definitely go over to vabusinesshub.com, vabusinesshub.com. Angela was there, and she talked about, this was so funny. She talked about how one day she came into office hours and she said, "Can I go first?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "I have a call with a client in 5 minutes and I don't know how to do this thing. Can you answer the question?" And I said, "Sure." So I answered the question. She went off and was a success. So it's that kind of support that you get when you're in VA school. And that was pretty cool. So that's how office hours work. There's more, there's more. We have guest expert sessions. We have bonus sessions. We have co-working sessions. We're having one today where 20 students or so will come together. We'll meet on Zoom. We'll talk about what we're going to accomplish in the next hour. We'll mute ourselves, turn off our cameras, and then get to work. And it's just a nice way to be with people, even when you're not in the same room. All right, good. So I want to introduce you to a VA school student, Amy, and then we're going to jump into the questions. So enrollment, again, is open till tonight at midnight. You can go over to vaschool.info to sign up and learn more. So I'm just going to stop my one of my visuals here. Okay, good. Here we go. Okay, good. Actually, that's interesting. All right. Of Amy's slide. So let's just hang with that for a minute. I must have twisted something around, but we'll come back to it. Okay, we'll come back to it. Good. Okay. So a lot of people want to know how long the course is. They also want to know, how long does it take to go through it? So let's talk about this. All right. So the question, how long is your course? So here's the first thing. It's not a matter of how long. It really is about how long is it going to take for you to start getting results. So we have students inside VA school who follow the steps, and in 30 days, they're already making their money back. And then there are others who come back to the program months and months and even years later, and they're still going through the content to grab something new that they can plug into their business. It's not accurate to call it a course. It's about what does your business need to be successful and how long will it take you to get it finished. And this course is about getting into action as quickly as possible, because what I want you to do is get clients as soon as you can, so that you'll have my support in 9 months of study hall to get your questions answered. Because you get your first client, then you have a whole new set of questions. Then you get your third client and you have a whole new set of questions, right? And then you want to raise your rates and you have a. So the idea is for you to move through as much of this as you can while we're together during the 9 months. After the 9 months, I do have other opportunities that students can stay in the community if they want continued support, but that's how this works in VA school. Okay, good. And again, questions in the chat, please. All right. So how will I know if I'm ready? All right. So this is kind of a trick question, right? So I don't how ready you are, but how committed you are, right? Because the fact is that actually being ready is kind of an illusion. Like, when have you really known you're ready to do anything? And if you're waiting until you're ready, the question is, how long are you going to wait? How long are you going to wait? Because you might not ever be ready, but that shouldn't prevent you from taking action, right? Because if you're committed, there's something you can. So I would focus on how committed are you? I kind of like that question better. You can be committed and scared. You can be committed and worried. You can be committed and doubtful. You can be committed and anxious. You can be committed and pretty much anything. And the thing is that if you weren't one of those things, I would probably be a little concerned, because this is a change. This is something new that you want, and it's very exciting. So is, are you committed to change something in your life so you can have a different outcome, right? Because I could have easily stayed stuck. I could have stayed stuck in being broke, in an unhappy marriage, unemployed, banging my head against the wall, trying to make my business work. But I shifted my commitment away from those things. And what happened is the way I looked at my life circumstances changed, and I was able to change. And this, I always feel like Debbie Downer when I say this, but if you could have done it on your own, you would have, right? All of us would have. I definitely couldn't do it on my own. And that's why I hired a coach, because every significant change I've made in my life, I've needed coaches from, I've needed coaching from my mentor. And I'm in a coaching program right now. So I am, and I know I'm probably singing to the choir to all of you, because you're here and you're listening to me. But it is important to know that there's nothing wrong with you if you can't do something you don't know how to do on your own, right? There's nothing at all. And when we're alone, our commitment can waver, right? So let's face it, it's easier to stay at the job you hate. It's easier to keep trying. It's easier to stay. But the burning question is, what are you committed to? And somebody said something. Someone said something. I'm trying to remember. I've been in so many different meetings this week and training sessions, and someone said, and I hadn't heard this for a long time, you have to pick your hard, right? You have to choose your hard. And we talked about that in study hall today, because your hard could be your hard could be what you're doing right now, and staying, or your hard could be doing something new and making a change so that your hard is different, right? It's not that hard. And I know for me, usually what it takes is just getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I'm just so sick of this, and then I usually bust a move. That's what happens for me. And I'd love to hear about what happens for you too. So some people outside the US. Yes, 100%, 100%. We have students from all over the world. The VA Connection has representation in 47 countries. So Australia, Canada, Estonia, Holland, the UK, New Zealand, South Africa, Ghana, Malaysia, Romania, Mexico. Have I missed anywhere? And the US for sure. Because I'm teaching you how to run a business, how to get clients, how to set your pricing strategy, how to quiet the voices in your head that hold you back, and all the systems you need. None of these are location specific. None of these are location specific. And I want to highlight some things that Joe said. So this is Joe Pursglove. Joe Pursglove is one of our ambassadors in our primary group. And I want to just pull out a couple of excerpts of this post that she made. Joe lives in the UK. She says, I know that a lot of people who aren't from the US can feel pretty apprehensive signing up to programs that aren't in your country, time zone, etc. So I'm happy for anyone to reach out to me who might want to discuss how accessible VA school / working with Belinda is for someone overseas. I started following Belinda in 2020 during the dreaded COVID, but also I was finishing my maternity leave and looking into working virtually. Belinda became my mentor that summer. Hold on, I'm just trying to. Available anymore. Sorry, guys. And she said, I really got my money's worth out of those sessions. And there were many jokes about how I never slept. So she says, now it's 2023 and I have an associate VA working with me. My time is fully booked, but also flexible so that's super important to me. I make almost as much as I made in my corporate job pre-maternity leave, and I work about half the amount of time. So drop me a comment or message so we can chat about what might be concerning you or holding you back from this next step into VA school. So if you want to reach out to Joe, she's available and she can be found at the Virtual Assistant Connection on Facebook. Okay, good. So the next question that I get is, what if I can't be there for all the sessions? What if I can't be there for all the sessions? And that absolutely happens. And the reason it happens is sometimes people have jobs, right? They have jobs and they want to make this career change, but that's the issue. So all of the sessions we have are recorded, and you will get access to the recordings within 24 hours, usually sooner. You'll have an area in the student portal where all of your recordings will be neatly organized and dated, and you'll have transcripts and timestamps, and the entire all of the sessions you can search across with keywords, and you can find which sessions are the ones you want to listen to. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. If you have a question that you want me to answer, and you can't make it, you can ask the question ahead of time and I'll answer it on the recording, and then we'll timestamp it for you. Okay, so that's how that works. So the question I get a lot, I haven't started my business yet, would this be good for me? Great question. Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting because VA school starts from the top. I help you get started from scratch, and I think the reason that you haven't started yet is you can skip all the missteps and the mistakes and the frustration, and follow the blueprint. And because VA school addresses how to set up your business as a company. So like I said, we have bonus sessions where I bring in my husband, who's an accountant. We have information from business insurance experts. So we can get your questions answered for people who are working in the field and have decades of experience. And I will say there's a nice mix each time, and people who are just starting from scratch. Okay, good. Will we have access to the content after the course is over? Yes. So here's how it works. The 10 modules, the 70 pre-recorded videos are yours for, we say lifetime access. It's like my lifetime access. So hopefully that's a really long time. The live sessions that you will be able to participate in during the 9 months are as well. You'll have access to the Facebook group for 9 months. And as I mentioned before, as we make additions and improvements to VA school, you will get those improvements as well. So for example, if we add a module, a new template, new content of any kind, you'll get that too. So it's not a static moment in time that occurred in the past at all. It's living and breathing. Okay. And this is a great question. Are wondering this question, the answer to this question: who succeeds at VA school? It's the people who stick with it. It's the people, we have had so many successful students, and you've met so many of them during the course of these 2 weeks. Carrie, Angela, you've met Tammy, you've met Leanne, you've met Cindy, and you've met Tori. So many stories, and Kim, and the VA Business Hub, and you can watch the recording of the virtual assistants there that were on our panel yesterday, and really learn from them. Learn from them what it's like to be a virtual assistant. So the people who succeed are the ones that stick with it, right? Good. You just have to follow the blueprint. All right. So I've been a VA for a while. Would this be useful to me? And, sometimes I think the students who have been at this for a while, who have not achieved the success they want, are so much more grateful for the course, because they need to figure out what step they missed, where it's not working for them. And we can find it together. And like, think about Leanne, right? So Leanne, from most people's point of view, she's killing it. It was either $60,000 or $65,000 a year. She's got a full book of business. She's doing her thing. And she said to herself, you know what? I want this to be more. Like, I want it to be more. And so she signed up for VA school. We figured out what she needed to adjust. We raised her rate. Absolutely. And last year she made $104,000. So $104,000. And she has an even bigger target this year, and she's on track. She's on track. So yes, absolutely. If you've been trying this for a while, even months, and you're not getting traction, there's something you're missing. And it's probably the strategy to run your business, right? Okay. Will I be able to get feedback? Yes, absolutely. So during the study hall sessions, you can bring your work, you can bring your website, you can bring something you're working on, an email you want to send someone. Feedback whenever you want. There are 3 study hall sessions and 1 office hours session a week. And absolutely, whatever you want to talk about, live feedback from me. I'm the only coach. I know a lot of other programs, other people are doing the coaching, and that's not the case with VA school at all. You get the VA veteran. All right, so how is this different from other programs? Well, I just jumped into that a little bit. The primary difference is that this is not a course that sits on the shelf. This is a classroom setting. So you come into my classroom and participate. So imagine we're in Zoom, and not on Zoom like I'm broadcasting out. We're in the Zoom together. We're all in there together, and we're in the chat box, asking questions and talking about what's going on, quieting fears, answering questions. And I don't know of any other online program at all, and it's more specifically for virtual assistants, where you have access to the coach like that. And that's how we're different. The community is really special. The community sticks together. They help each other. Is amazing. But even beyond that, people create relationships outside of office hours and study hall, and they get to know each other. And it's really awesome. It's really awesome. Okay, so that's how I think it's different from other programs. And then the other thing is that I've been a business person for a long time, and I know how to set up a business for success. Kind of my secret sauce, and I give all of that to you so you can set up a solid foundation to manage as many clients as you want. Absolutely. Okay. You have to make sure that the person that that you work with to get your business set up. If it's not me, that's fine. I totally get that. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but you need to find someone, and you need to find someone that you resonate with, you understand them, you connect with them, and all success that you want. Because I know, there's a lot of people out there who don't, they were a virtual assistant for a short amount of time and they decided that they didn't want to do that. They wanted to teach instead. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just make sure they have the depth of knowledge that you need to set yourself up for success, right? That's the key. And I follow that advice. Absolutely. When I hire people and work with people on areas in my own business. Okay. On Saturday, I'm attending a master gardener workshop on how and when to plant your garden at 10 o'clock. I will be there on Saturday and taking notes, and then we're going to start our garden once I have some help, right? That's what it takes. All right, so we talked about this a little bit. We talked about, do I have to wait 9 months to start your business? No, I do not want you to wait 9 months. Now, some people sign up in for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, but they don't want to wait until enrollment opens again. So that's totally fine, because it's like I said earlier, it's not about the 9 months. That's just how long you have live support. You can jump in and start getting clients right away. Absolutely. And then when you do, we start working through the next set of questions and the next set of questions, and you really are able to get some traction, right? You're able to get some traction. All right. Well, we do get the, it's not really a question, but the statement, I can't afford it. And we talked a little bit about this earlier. And you might be thinking that $149 a month feels like too much right now. And I totally get it. I used to think that way too. It's common belief, even especially when money's tight. So I want you to consider that by investing in this course, you're actually investing your income potential. Many students have recouped their investment within just a few months of applying what they learn. And one of our former students, I'm going to introduce you to her right now, Tammy. She was hesitant about the cost, but she took the plunge anyway. And with a short amount of time, she was able to earn significantly more than she had spent, and it transformed their financial situation. So here's November of 2021, my husband and I lost our jobs. Previously, I'd been earning, I had a successful cleaning and pet sitting business, but longed for something that would give me location independence. I'd heard about being a virtual assistant and began researching training programs. There are so many out there, and Belinda stood out from the pack. Because of all the true value she gave in her free class, it was clear to me that she was the real deal. I knew it was time to take a leap, begin this new career path. It scared me to spend the money because I was unemployed, but I was more afraid of what would happen if I didn't take a chance. Belinda made it easy with the payment plan, so I took the leap. Since then, I've never looked back. I've worked with 13 clients since I began and learned so many new skills. I charge $50 an hour, which was much more than I originally thought possible. I have gone way out of my comfort zone doing as well as virtual networking, which has changed my life forever. I've made lifetime friends, and whenever I need advice, there's always someone from this community willing to help. Belinda spends as much time as needed answering everyone's questions. Recently, my family's been going through a crisis, and because of the foundation that VA School and Belinda helped me build, I can take my business with me and be there for my family. That's pretty awesome, right? And the other thing I want to talk about is some of you don't have jobs. And believe me, I understand that. And I know how scary it is. And I know how discouraging it is, right? And spending money when you're not making money is a natural concern, right? It's a natural concern. However, again, I want you to think about this as an investment in your future, because by setting your business up in a smart, simple, and profitable way, you can stop the job search forever, and have money. So while I understand the staying stuck, because I have talked to potential VA school students who say, I haven't had a job for a year, I just can't spend any money. It's like, well, I get that, but what's going to shift? Because something has to shift because it's just getting worse, right? It's just getting worse. And there is no magic bullet. There is no magic bullet. And so it's good to get started. It's good to get started. Um, you really risk staying in the place you are longer, right? Which can lead to missed opportunities and prolonged financial strain, which I know all about. So, there's a choice. You can stay where you are, or you can open the door to future opportunities. Now, I did some math for you. So let's say you take the information that you've learned and you find a client, right? Let's say you find a client and they work a week at $25 an hour, which is a low rate. I would not have you go out and start at $25 an hour, but I want to keep it real, right? So let's say that they give you 5 hours at $25 an hour. So your monthly revenue would be $500 a month right out of the gate, right? VA school is only $149, right? So you'll already be paying for it when you start, right? So does that math make sense to you? In that way. And I want to make an offer to you. Shoot me a text, right? Shoot me a text or WhatsApp me. This is my phone number, my cell phone number right here. And if you want to jump on a Zoom call or a telephone call or a WhatsApp call, we can do that. This is not a sales call. I just want to get your questions answered because I know some of you are shy. You're thinking, I don't want to answer, ask my question. People I have a different circumstance. I totally get that. So if you want to reach out to me, please do. Cell phone number right there. Okay. And this is what it takes to get started. This is what it takes. Oh, you know what? I didn't put the new payment plan on here. So there are 3 options. One option is pay in full, $1,697. Boom, you're done. When you do that, you get a 1-hour strategy session with me. The second option is to make 9 payments of $197. The third option, which we opened up yesterday, is to make 12 payments of $149. So if you go to vaschool.info and you click you'll click into the checkout page, you'll see all 3 options there. You can pay with credit card or you can pay with PayPal. All right. And we have a money back guarantee because that everything you need is in this classroom, in this program, in this course. And I want you to be 100% satisfied. So there's really no risk. Jump off the fence, jump in, make that payment of, $149, $197 or $16.97, whatever seems like the best thing for you. And if you change your mind and decide it's not for you, I'll give you your money back. Okay. Now I'm going to be in my tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll be there for about an hour or as long as you guys want to stay. So please join me there and let's talk about all things VA school. So anything else before we go? Going once, going twice. All right, you guys, thank you for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been amazing. We'll wrap it up in the Zoom room tonight. So I will see you there. I'll see you inside VA school. Bye for now.